So now let's go look at some basic functions. So now, you see how we look at a data structure. How to construct it? Is it mutable or immutable? If it is mutable, how to mutate it? If it's immutable, still can I create changes? I have to create new ones, but how do I change it? Okay. After this is done, then we look at what are the other functions we can do with the string, right? So let me just run this again and we'll talk through this code. None of this is meant for you to memorize, right? More importantly, I want to share this pattern, how my brain is learning about these structures, right? I go look for certain things. So the next thing I ask is, okay, it's a collection. Can I determine how many elements are there? And this is a very interesting utility function in Python, len. So probably you want to fix len in our minds. Len allows us to calculate the length of a string, right? So if I calculate the length of the string hello, it gives me the number 5. Now we have other string mutating, manipulating operations. So for example, you can take the string. Notice these operations are all on the string. It's on the variable. So greeting dot upper will uppercase it. Greeting dot lower will lowercase it. This is an interesting one. Greeting dot capitalize. Okay, will actually do. It's clever. It does interesting capitalization. And there is this, I don't know if you can see, it's a little long. Okay, swap case. That's a tricky function usually used in a lot of interviews, right? How do I take a string and if I make the uppercase into lowercase, some people will write a program to do it, but we don't want to do that, right? We want to use a simple Python command to solve this problem. So those are simple examples of commands that you can run. The next one, which we discussed a little bit last time, is how to split a line of a string, but you split it, say in this case, using spaces, right? You want to split this and you can actually split it. And if you print it out, this is a message. You can look, maybe I made it. Can you, hopefully you can read the output. Yeah, it's right here. This is a message. That is the split up string. Okay. Now, you can use split, for example. So here's a good exercise. Maybe all of you can type this out. I want you to create a list of alphabets, right? And if you try to create it, you can type your own code into your version of the trinket. If you try to create a list of alphabets by doing the following, right? It takes a lot of time, right? If you say alphabets, and then you say, or maybe not. 1 second. If you say alphabets, and then you start making a list like this, right? And each time you put A, and then you put a comma, and so on. It takes a long time to create it. It's much easier to open a single quote and then start typing A space, B space, C space, and type all the alphabets quickly. And then you do split, and it will give you a list. Okay? So as we go along, every time we learn a new function, it is nice to think about how will I use this function, right? So this is a good example of where I can use split. By the way, split is so important if you start manipulating text and or work in bioinformatics, DNA stuff, etc. Then you're going to find a lot of places where you're going to be splitting and joining things. Okay. So the opposite operation to split is join, and the join is a little tricky. This is a Python-ism that I won't try to explain too much. But Python wants you to, usually you take a blank string and then you run the operation join and you pass in whatever you want to join. So for example, if I take, we split these words, this is a message into a list of words. If you pass a list of words into this join function, it will join them together. Okay. And then it goes on, right? There are a lot of functions. So maybe I don't want to go through each one of these, right? Please take a couple of minutes. There's, I'll just mention them. Find is very interesting. Find is the first occurrence. Replace allows you to replace substrings and so on, right? So there are a lot of methods here. I have given a link to the Python documentation on the website, right? So there's no point for me to tell you all the methods on string. You just have to combine a kind of exploratory look at all the methods, and also when you need stuff, know how to look it up. Okay, but a few of them that are essential are here. So if you just make your own examples, don't use my examples, just repeat this piece of code a couple of times, then these methods will be clear to you.